Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, in this video we want to talk about the shorter time frame wave count, and we are currently following the projected pathway. In the last video I highlighted to you that I'm looking for lower prices, especially against the resistance area that I gave you on the chart. And that was between 67,060 and 67,940. Possible short trade entry point for anybody who's trading maybe the 5-minute, 15-minute charts. Especially the break below this ascending trend line then was an early confirmation that we would be heading to the downside. So I have a bit of a breakout now to the downside, but next step would be to take out this previous swing low which formed on Thursday at 66,250. That's the next level that needs to be broken in order to really get this third wave done, because I'm not entirely sure what the microstructure is here. Not entirely sure. You can count that just in too many different ways. So I'm definitely on high alert that we could get a bit of a swing back, okay, like a move up back into the resistance area in what could be considered a larger corrective rally, like an A, B, C. If that happens, it should happen from here, A, B, C, and then maybe get that that flush to the downside. That can always happen, especially because the resistance area wasn't broken. It, like the 50% fib level was touched. But essentially, as long as we now stay below the intraday high, which was formed when the price touched the 50% retracement at 67,321, as long as we stay below that level, the focus is on the downside. Actually, it's probably rather this last swing high at 67,000. So as long as we stay below that in the very short term, we should be able to keep the downside pressure up. But as I said, this is the ideal place for it to turn around for a larger corrective rally, a larger three-wave move before we come down, because the resistance area still has space and we have not yet really broken to the downside. But maybe, like, if I remember correctly, didn't we get a bit of a flush last Friday? I think we did, didn't we? So it might be, that was the 7th of June. Yeah. Maybe it's going to be a continuation of that. Obviously, we're still moving in the descending price channel. Doesn't look great due to the fake out here, but I still keep it on the chart for now. I find the fibs more relevant. And then what are the next downside targets? Well, for the blue count, and I might take the blue count off the chart in the next video, or we'll change it to white. It's easier to read, right? Because if we continue to go down lower than the white count that's already on the chart, which is at the moment only the alternative, basically, right? But it could still, technically speaking, rally higher from here, but not preferred as per what I communicated in the last video. No, leaning towards blue, which is a larger B wave, and the third wave of wave C of Y of B in the blue count should still reach the area between 64,910 and 64,508 next. There's also this lower boundary line of the channel, but again, this trend line isn't very, very accurate. What I would pay attention to are the fib levels, especially because down here around the 1.38 extension at 64,508 and 64,440, there is some Fibonacci confluence there. So pay attention to possible reactions in that region, and the wave 3 could complete there. As I said, I don't have a very, very reliable, micro count what this is, because it is just way too choppy. It could be some kind of a WXY. I'm labeling it as an A, B, and now the C wave down. But then the C wave could be an ending diagonal, but the wave 1 actually looks like a 5-wave move, so that doesn't really work. Unless the 1 is here, the 2 is here, and it did form a running flat structure. That is definitely something to consider, because then also the third wave would be an ABC, but that's just the labeling. I already added the fib levels as if this was the case. The price did get rejected there. I think that's probably what makes most sense. And then we could now be moving down in wave C, which should take us into that white box down there. So not much more to add. So that's the update currently about Bitcoin. How could we invalidate this? blue structure and what would confirm further a more aggressively bullish white scenario? Well, to really keep going to the downside here in this blue scenario, which is currently preferred, I really think the price must stay below the wave 2 high. So that is 68,470. Really needs to stay below that, because above that black and white, that's the invalidation point, right? Already a break above 67,940 will make the blue count less likely, but we don't even need to talk about that at the moment. I mean, we are currently coming down. We haven't even broken above the last swing high. So yeah, what I can only highlight is that the sooner we get this correction done, the better, I guess. I really hope we get this correction done maybe over the weekend or on Monday or so, early next week. If we continue to be in sell-off mode, then yeah, we can work through this blue scenario, and it takes a completion of waves 3, 4, and 5. If it doesn't finish after the 5th wave, well, then I have to revise the overall scenario, and we're probably dropping back into the lower support region, which is in yellow, okay? And this is the yellow scenario, at least, which could send us to 55 to 58K. As I said to you in the last videos, my mindset is now we focus on lower. We'll see if the price can generate some kind of an impulse from this region here. If it can't and breaks below 62,540, it's the yellow count, which could then send it down much, much lower. But then from here, it can attempt another rally, and that larger wave 4, which presumably finished on the 1st of May, then never finished, and it's still unfolding. That's basically the alternative, which you know about if you followed previous videos, but we'll talk about the daily chart or so maybe in the next video. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.